The Feng Shui concerns in the kitchen are basically two things, and that is how water and fire relate to each other and the location of the stove. Water and fire are opposing elements, and they shouldn't be directly across from each other, and they shouldn't be right next to each other. So in this case here, we do have an example of the range top being directly across from the sink. Here's water, here's fire. So there are two solutions, and these are symbolic solutions because the solutions that aren't symbolic are usually unaffordable. That would mean moving the stove or moving the sink. So almost always symbolic fixes are used in the kitchen. So here, what we want to do is symbolize that these two energies have been dispersed before they meet each other, and that's why we'll use a crystal, because that's what a crystal symbolizes in Feng Shui, is dispersed energy. So you would hang it someplace between the sink and the stove and say out loud at the moment you do it, the purpose of this crystal is to disperse the energies of fire and water before they meet each other. The other solution would be to use the color red. And red is used for a couple of different things in Feng Shui. It sometimes is used to attract energy because it's so noticeable, but in this case we're using it to create a change when a change isn't really feasible. So, what the red, where it could be used, would be, this is just red ribbon, but imagine that it is red tape, like red electrical tape. What you would do is put it under this lip, and it would go the full distance of the sink. And it is symbolizing a karate chop, that you are creating a distance between these two, the fire and water. This range top actually has a little bit of a lip too. Not every stove does, but you could put it here. And if you did, it would need to go the full distance of the range top, just separating these two. This is a case where there's a rug in front of the sink. It's also in front of the stove. And you could put the red ribbon under the bottom of the rug. Once again, going in a direction, not connecting them, but separating them. Then you just put the rug back down. You could use a red rug, or you could use a rug that has a red stripe already designed in it. So now let's go over to a case where a refrigerator, which is something else that represents water, is right next to something representing fire. Here's the refrigerator. It's symbolizing water, it's cold, and here is the oven, symbolizing fire, it's hot. And they're too close. This is a conflict because they're right next to each other. Luckily, there is wood in between, and what that wood is symbolizing is plants. So the water is feeding the wood is then feeding the fire, so it makes a graceful transition rather than a conflict. Since there's so little space here, that's probably about all that can be done. If there is a little more space, what you'd want to do is put one of these faceted crystals in that space between the two. I can't get to that. That's just solid wood. I can't get into it. But that would be the other fix in this situation.